I'm Darlene, and I am a parent coach. I coach moms on how to stay calm, how to set limits, how to stay present with their kids, teach their kids how to manage their feelings, all of that. I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how I'm managing screens right now. I was talking about this with someone else, and I was sharing what I'm doing, and she was like, wow, that is so helpful for me because it makes me feel like, you know, I'm doing it. I'm okay, right? Like we all want to know we're okay, everything's going to be okay and all of that. So, all right. So, I was going to tell you like in the before, right? Because there was a before. I've always had a lot of limits on screens because I really wanted to hi Tina, allow my kids an opportunity to be bored and use their creativity and all of that. So when they were younger, they were allowed to use screens only on the weekends, and only for 2 hours at a time. As they got older, they could use screens on school nights as long as they had good grades. We've had all sorts of limits around screens for years. And, so I know how to do it. Like my kids know that I can set limits and they follow through. And if they don't follow through, there's a consequence and all of that, right? So setting limits isn't hard for my family and for me. But what I decided when this time started, the during, right? So I talked about the before, and now here we are in the during of school closures. So in the during, I was really intentional about this time of how I wanted it to feel in my home, overarching experience. I wanted it to feel peace and harmonious and not have stress. And so in that, I began to ask myself a few questions about screens. The first one was, what do I have capacity for? How much am I able to actually manage screens right now? How I'm working, right? So how can I actually be over in the bedrooms with the kids and monitoring what they're on, how many hours they're doing, right? So what do I have a capacity for practically, but also emotionally, right? Because we're all kind of, you know, not so much now, maybe for you or but for definitely for me. I'm not in the news all the time, but in the beginning I was, and like, what's going to happen and how long is this going to last? And I was spinning a little bit. So physical capacity, emotional capacity, right? And then relationship capacity. How much strain could I have? How much strain was I willing to put on in these relationships with my kids right now? We have this relationship, right? It's built on this mutuality. And when I'm very firm and strict about something and I set limits around it, I, am requiring of them some extra trust and extra, I have to be uncomfortable. I have to be comfortable with their discomfort around my rules, right? So what they want is a lot of limp screen, and then I need to know really clearly that I'm not going to allow that, and that might put a tax on our relationship. So what's the capacity practically? Time, emotionally for me and my brain, and then our relationship. So when I was thinking about what is the capacity, I was like, low people, low capacity, very low capacity to manage screen time. So I flipped my whole limit thing on its head, right? So usually I have these proactive limits and I set limits around what they can do and the circumstances they can do them under. But in this time period, in the during, I have decided to focus instead on the limits, instead focusing on what it is that I want them to do and making sure those things happen. So I'm focusing more on my bare minimums, right? I kind of posted about that if you didn't read that one. What are the most important things to me right now? And they are that the kids go outside, that they move their body. So I want them to get fresh air. I want them to move their body. If they do that together, great. If they do like exercise in the living room and they go outside, that's fine, right? So I want them to go outside and I want them to move their body and I want them to empty the dishwasher. Okay. Those are my bare minimums because that makes my life move, right? When they empty the dishwasher. Then the other things I want them to do is their academics. I want them to show up at school and do their work, and then I want them to spend time with me. So when my bare minimums are met, I can manage those five things day to day, right? I can make those five things happen. Anything beyond that, I'm kind of like, fine. If you want to, you know, be on screens, great, as long as I know these bare minimums have been met and that I have had that like emotional connection touch point with my kids. So that's like the most important thing to me right now is that we spend some time together connecting, talking, walking the dog together, whatever that looks like. So, instituting like when I can a family game time. Yesterday we did it. It didn't go so well. Just FYI. Some people had temper tantrums. But anyway, we have like meme offs and whatever. We have different things that we're doing so that we have this touch point, these connection points. And when those are met, everything else is fine with me. So I'm not stressing about the amount of time that my kids are on screens. I am focusing instead on making sure that we have connection each day and that we are moving our body, going outside, doing bare minimum chores, and doing academics. Beyond that, I don't know. My kids might be on 6, 7 hours. Okay, we have a lot of time right now. And so those bare minimums take maybe 4 hours, something like that. And so if they're up for 15 hours, people, it's a lot of free time. I don't think they're on screens 11 hours, but I'm not keeping track. So I wanted to tell you all that so that you could relax a little bit about your screen situation. It's okay. We are in the during. You had your before, you had your rules and your limits and your patterns and all of that. Some were working, some weren't. That's fine. Now we are in the middle of this situation and everyone is doing what they can to cope, remembering the overarching feeling you want to have with your family, getting that, and then from there you can fix all the screen issues and whatever goes kind of sour right now. There will be an after, and there will be time to repair and get back on track and refocus. You can set limits again. You don't have to think about trying to maintain what life was like before right now in the during. So I want to give you all permission to relax about your excessive screen use. Okay. Your kids' excessive screen use. That's okay. That's, um, you do what you have the capacity for. That's what I'm doing anyway. And I hope you found this helpful. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.